Hello again. We are on to our next project in the home. We have a bathroom, but it does not have a medicine cabinet to open and put your little doodads in there. So rather than going and buying a new one for $100, we happen to have this kitchen cabinet, 12 inches deep, that will turn into a magnificent medicine cabinet. So now we have to figure out how we are going to make it 3.5 inches deep. That's the depth that we have to work with behind the drywall and the 2x4. So we have to get it to 3.5, as well as keeping the back on it and making sure we still have shelves. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the door off so it's not in our way and we don't damage it. Get our handy dandy super drill here. Make sure that we are using the proper safety gear and using our heads when we're trying to remove some parts. Always love demolition. So we start off then first with our 42-inch pry bar. It helps us get underneath the piece of wood much more simply than using something small. And then it gives us an option of using the long leverage or the strong leverage size. Now we need to get it underneath there, and let's just assume that we didn't have this little gap here. So now how do you get the bar underneath the wood? There's only one way. You must use a little bit of motivation. So I get my 10-pound maul to be able to help aid in putting this underneath on that. Now here we go. We're going to go ahead and hit this with a little bit of force on there. On this, oh yeah, that might work out a little better. Great, all right. Thanks there, Dad. This does seem more appropriate for the job. Now let's remove this back off of here without having any damage to the back. Granted, it's not as much fun using a 22 ounce hammer, but we have to work with what we have. And we can start up here and hopefully not have to do much prying at all. Now we have it off, and with little to no damage on this. So that's a very good thing. I'm glad we used the appropriate tools to be able to remove the back. All right, excellent. Now we have the back removed. We have a few staples here, but those will get removed as well. So the next thing that we'll do is we need to find 3 inches in. So now we need to zing this thing across and get it done. So let's see here. How are we doing? That looks spiffy well. Great. So now we have our line drawn around the cabinet for the 3.5 inches from here to here. And I'm going to start cutting the ends because they're not quite as smooth as the rest. And what I did to give myself a smooth surface to draw the saw against is I put the 2x4 and screwed it onto the back. Now I'll have a smooth roll all the way through. Let's make sure we have maximum depth and that we are able to clear the whole depth, which looks like we will be. Let's do a test. Yep. So we're good. All right. Now let's cut. Okay, so now let's do the other side first, next, and then we'll do the edges. There. Looking for on that part. Just okay. That looks good. Enough height here on the thingamajiggle. All right, here we go. Most of it cut through. Now we just have to get through these parts here. Now we can see the base of our medicine cabinet. So we have cut there, set this piece aside. Now we still have to cut these boards, the two shelves in here, and the bottom, the base. All right, great, so now we have this front part pulled off. We have to remove the shelves so we can cut them straight across. We have to get this side off. Now this side is held on with some pretty sturdy 1/4 inch wide, 1/2 inch or more, possibly more than a 1/2 inch deep of the staples. So we must make sure that we have the proper motivation to remove those without causing too much struggle and issues for us as we are working on this. So now let's grab the proper motivation. Okay, so now we're going to tap on this lightly on here with our proper motivation. Okay guys, here we go, and we got this here on yes? Oh, that one might work a little better. Okay, all right, thanks. Well, I guess we'll go with the 22-ounce hammer. It's a beautiful hammer. Looks like a framing hammer, but it has a smooth face. Anyway, let's remove this. Here we go. All right. One piece. There's 2 pieces. Now we don't need this part of the shelf, but we do need to get this piece off. Hopefully they did not use too much glue in here. I guess then what we might do, we have a little gap in there, I think. There we go. Let's try the pry bar again here. We can maybe get this down. If we start here on top. Oh, again, the proper one. We could try it, but that looks like too much work. We have glue. Look at that. A strip of glue. I don't think it connected to anything, but there's our strip of glue. We have some staples here we'll have to remove. Get the proper tool for that. Yeah, all right, so we'll set that there. Now we have this shelf and this shelf. And don't need that one. I need to pop this piece off. This is the side. Excellent. Love how glue retains the shelf. All right. Okay, so now we just have to get these clamped on. have our shelves that fit in nicely. And we're going to take these supports and we're just going to put them on the back side to support it. One of the great things we're going to use is a little bit of glue. I don't mean any glue. I mean liquid nail. Nothing stands the test of time than liquid nail, especially when you don't want it where it is. The other modality that we're going to use to hold these in place is we're going to tack them in place with our air gun. Just a little tack to hold them in place as the liquid nail sets up for the permanent hold. Well, I brought my gun out here. Now we're here to make sure that we have sufficient distance to get in through one side into the piece of wood here to hold it in place. Let's just check that. So we're going to use our old pieces of wood just to see how well these nails will hold them together and to make sure that we have enough depth with these nails. So we have our little gun and we're going to just, oh, there you go, held firm and tight. These two pieces of board are held firm together. I'm kind of firmly held onto my, the proper tool. Excellent. So we'll just slide it in underneath there and get a little bit of a leverage on that. And our tiny little nails are plenty deep to work into this. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the side here to hold these in on that. And we're going to just put this a little smaller on, well, I guess it might work. Okay. To get ourselves our friendly liquid nail. So now we have our medicine cabinet. We have it thin. We have our shelves, that's kind of thin. And then we're going to put our back on here. Okay, so now we have a back that we have to re-put on.
Okay, so now we have the back that's going to go on here. Make sure it lines up nice. So it lines up there. We want to make sure we get it all tacked in there nicely. That one.
Okay, great. Now we have it. We've got it completed. With all of our hard work, we have our 3.5-inch wide medicine cabinet. It's going to have a nice solid door on it, two very solid shelves with the back stuck onto it, looking good. Now we just have to go and cut a hole in our wall to mount our medicine cabinet. Pretty spiffy, I think.